We've got a massive Pokemon Scarlet and Violet leak dump to go through today, as a ton of information has been revealed from the leaker Kaka and Riddler Coup. Let's take a look. All right, let's dive right in. We got some information regarding a Scarab Beetle, which we knew about. It is apparently a pure bug type Scarab Beetle, and then it actually has an evolution that is gonna be Bug and Psychic, a type we've actually seen before in Pokemon Sword and Shield with Orbeetle and its Orbeetle's line, which I really liked Orbeetle. Bug Psychic seems kind of cool. I guess like a Scarab Beetle with some like ancient kind of vibes. We know that there's like a Cleopatra Ostrich kind of vibe that's Psychic type as well. So I wonder if there's some sort of part of the map that maybe has that kind of ancient, I don't know, I don't want to say like ancient Egypt, but that kind of a vibe going on. I wonder if that's kind of an inspiration that they kind of sprinkled in here. That seems like that might be the case. We've got a little bit of information regarding Nemona's team. We know she obviously has a Palmy, but apparently she has a Lycanroc as well. Very, very interesting. Some story spoilers coming in here. We've got Penny, who's got the Eevee backpack. Apparently their ace is a Sylveon. So that Eevee that they so love and adore ultimately is a Sylveon. Now, we know some information about Volcorona. I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the video, but apparently future Volcorona is fire type, but it's not fire fairy. We actually have some information for the Riddler. I'll kind of come back to that later. The Poison Flower Pokemon has two types, which we knew this is a dual type Pokemon. And Paradox Jigglypuff, which we know is one of the Paradox forms, is fairy and something else. It's not poison though. So this vampire-like Jigglypuff is going to gain an additional typing outside of normal. So all the Paradox forms are apparently dual types, and they oftentimes change the type from their existing previous forms. So in the context of Jigglypuff, it goes from fairy normal to fairy and something else. Also, by the way, if you guys haven't done so yet, G Fuel is running one of their best deals of the year, where you can actually buy one tub and get another tub for free. My flavor is Shiny Splash. It's incredible. It's an energy drink, so I recommend 18 and up, but it's a great blend of vitamins and antioxidants that'll keep you fueled and energized throughout the day. There's only 15 calories, no sugar, and my flavor tastes amazing. So stock up right now. Code ADRIVE is 30% off, and you can take advantage of the BOGO for back to school. Don't miss this deal. Legit the best deal they have all year is their BOGO deals. So take advantage of it. Shiny Splash is the drink. Ninja drinks it. PewDiePie drinks it. I'm telling you, Shiny Splash is the play.
Oh, I'm sipping on the Shiny Splash, baby. All inside me.
Headset.
Shiny Splash also tastes good.
Check the link in the description or head over to G Fuel and use code ADRIVE. Paradox Amoonguss does not keep its poison type, but it keeps its grass type. So our little swamp monster Amoonguss is not a poison type any longer. Paradox Gallade is still fighting with a thinking emoji on if it keeps psychic, but it does not gain fire. So we don't have a ton of information. There's still some kind of questions of whether it's Gallade, Curlia, or Gardevoir, or kind of a mix of all of them, or what's going on there. But apparently it's still fighting type. There's a thinking emoji response from Kaka, and it's gonna keep its psychic. It does on whether or not it keeps its psychic type, but it's not a fire type, so it's not firefighting. The spider Pokemon that was kind of teased in the first trailer by the jacket is a bug type, but it's not a dark type. So I think that that's worth noting. We obviously have a spider bug. I'm excited. We got a scarab bug. We got a spider bug. We'll talk a little bit more about the common rider bug here in a bit, but non-dark type bug, unfortunately, in that regard. He replied, "What boss to, can you tell us how bosses work?" But apparently there's a thought that Kaka doesn't really understand what that means. So we know that there's like these boss Pokemon throughout the map, much like alpha Pokemon. We know the crab is one of them. The earthworm is one of them, the steel earthworm. So I guess Kaka was a little unsure about kind of how that was played out. The dolphin Pokemon is a water type. And we also believe now that the Tauros that's blue is actually a water type as well. So there was some misunderstanding or mistranslations or confusion regarding whether the Tauros was a water type or an ice type. And we do believe it to be a fighting and water type at this point, which is a great type. Poliwrath and Keldeo, it's great typing. The Tumbleweed Pokemon is apparently grass and ghost. Another one? Decidueye, Trevenant, and Gourgeist all say hello, just to name a few. Someone asked Kaka if there was any bug and dragon Pokemon, and they replied with a thinking emoji. Now, we've been thinking for a while now that this common rider is going to be bug dragon or bug dark. I've been getting my hopes up for my first ever bug dragon. It's a typing I've always wanted to see. Getting a thinking emoji of whether or not there's a bug dragon, so not confirmation. We know about the flower Pokemon. It is a poison and rock type Pokemon, which is pretty dope. I don't know if we've ever had a poison rock type Pokemon. Okay, Nihilego is a poison rock type. I looked it up because I don't remember every single Pokemon off the top of my head while I'm making these videos, and I don't want everyone to comment, "ADRIVE, Nihilego is a poison rock type Pokemon," like you guys did with Drampa the other day. Seriously, I misspoke about the normal dragon, and I got at least 150 comments about the fact that Drampa's normal dragon. Y'all acted like you care about Drampa. Where were you when Drampa needed support in the election? Nobody voted for Drampa, okay? All of a sudden, all the Drampa fans in the world come out of the woodworks to tell me that I forgot about Drampa. Ain't nobody care about that Pokemon. Turtonator's way better. We know that future Paradox Volcarona is not dragon type, but again, we're gonna talk about Volcarona later in the video. Fido's evolution is apparently red and brown, but it is gonna stay fairy type, so we'll wait and see what that is. Red and brown, if anyone can kind of come up with any ideas of what Fido might evolve into, let me know in the comment section below. How do you find the sub-legendaries? And the leaker says, from the cliffs in the snow to behind the falls, every corner of Paldea. Okay, so the legendaries are gonna be scattered throughout the entire region. Very, very interesting. They're gonna be kind of throughout the whole world. I love the idea of it being behind the falls, because you know, like every video game trope since we were kids, you go behind the waterfall and there's something there. Legends Arceus did not do that. They did not put things behind the waterfall. What are they doing? I need stuff behind the waterfall. There needs to be something behind the waterfall. Am I right or am I right? Someone asked the leaker, is there a season system in the game like Generation 5? They replied with a thinking emoji, a shh emoji, and a thinking emoji. So like, shh, I'm gonna act it out for you guys. So I think there could be a season system in the game. The sub-legendaries are not villains. I think that's related to the 4 legendaries that are dark type. Apparently they're not evil, according to this leak. Is the crab only rock type? And they replied with SSS question mark. I'm not really sure what that means. We know that there's gonna be 3 new dog Pokemon lines in the game, and the leaker's favorite is the ghost dog Pokemon line. We know Tentacool is gonna get a new regional form or fake, and it's not grass and poison, so it doesn't just copy a Moongus typing. Oricorio is actually in the game in Scarlet and Violet. I'm sure its forms are gonna be spread out throughout the region as well, which we kind of speculate with Sawsbuck and the Tauros form. So they might just have a bunch of forms all out throughout the region. Future Paradox Donphan is ground and something else. So Donphan's gonna be gaining an additional typing. I could see Steel being kind of cool. The fighting teacher, the one who has Hariyama, which was shown in the second trailer, does not have an important role in the game. And there seems to be some misunderstanding. Like we were told that a lot of the champions we've seen, the game has multiple champions, but then another source is saying that we have not seen the champion and there's some misinformation. So again, as always, you know, things can change, things may be confusing. Just keep that in mind. Hariyama is apparently not ghost typing in its Paradox form. So again, these are just people's, asking questions and getting responses. Plusle and Minun are not in the Pokedex, and Meowstic is not in the Pokedex. I'm not gonna miss any of them. A couple other details that we have here. There's a waterfowl that's electric and flying. The common rider is apparently bug and dark, so we don't get the bug dragon. No! Apparently it's a bug dark. We'll see, but that's what apparently this leak says here. The hake fish is water and something else. The fire blade is fire and something else. And then I covered everything else already. There's a 3-stage salt Pokemon that is rock type as well. Mischievous is apparently the ghost and fairy type, which is something we've wanted for a really, really long time. So that could be really awesome if that's finally our first ghost fairy outside of Mimikyu. I didn't forget Mimikyu. I know y'all were typing Mimikyu. I know, you were gonna tell me in the comments I forgot Mimikyu. Just like Drampa. Shifting gears a little bit, Game Freak had done like this presentation, this 2022 CEDED hosted by Kalichi Mizawa. Anyway, they did a presentation and they unveiled that they've been working on Pokemon Legends Arceus beginning in the fall of 2018, and Scarlet and Violet was starting right around the time that Generation 8 was finishing up. So both games, Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus, had a 3-year development time, to give you guys an idea of kind of how long the development cycle is, about 3 years. There's some other really interesting tidbits from that, like they talked about some of the challenges they had with animations and how they improved them in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So if you want to take a look, I'm sure you can find it online. Now switching gears to Riddler Coup, our, secret source here, talking about the ancient moth, okay? That's obviously Volcorona. Volcorona we believe to have 2 Paradox forms, an ancient and a future form. And Riddler says about Ancient Moth, if you want to imagine its appearance, look at its pre-evolution. So saying that Ancient Volcarona actually looks probably closer to Larvesta than Volcarona itself. And that's going to make a lot more sense in our next tweet from Zodiac Cooler or Riddler Coup, saying beauty reincarnation, and shows 2 different Pokemon, Pheromosa and Salazzle. Pheromosa being bug fighting, Salazzle being fire poison. Our thought at this point now is that the past form or the ancient form of Volcarona is going to look closer to Larvesta, and it's going to be bug and fighting like Pheromosa is, And our future Volcorona form is going to be fire and poison like Salazzle is. That is the thought in terms of Volcorona. So the fighting bug Volcorona as a Larvesta is a little harder to imagine, right? Fire and poison I can see, but this is probably one of the things I'm most excited about in the game is this Paradox form. And last but not least, we talk about the leaked gameplay shot of this kind of open mouth jaw with the purple eye. Centra reporting on the fact that this is a fish. So this may be that hake fish that we talked about yesterday. So a little bit follow up there. When will the leak stop? I have no idea, but that's gonna be your leak update for today. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you guys are new. Take advantage of the BOGO with G Fuel and pick some up. Shiny Splash, baby. That's great for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by Adriel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.